Hi, everyone, and welcome. We're excited to share part 3 in our 3-part series focused on Q4 on Amazon. And while this is technically the finale of this particular webinar series, we will continue to host webinars for our clients. So stay tuned to your inbox for an invitation to upcoming webinars covering topics like reducing and managing your fees while selling on Amazon. But back to today, to begin, let's do a few introductions. For those of you that I haven't met before, I am Julie Spear, the VP of Operations here at Bobsled. I've been with Bobsled Marketing for about 3 years now. I was Bobsled's first employee, and I've held just about every position on the client delivery side of the team. Now I oversee the entire client delivery team, and I also co-host the weekly e-commerce brain trust podcast with Kiri. Joining me today, I have Jen Hoser, a client project manager on the team, and Stefan Jordav, a PPC manager. Jen, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody?
Hi, Julie. Thanks so much. My former life was all about entertainment and marketing and branding. And then I got into FBA and on my own. And because I learned so much from Bobsled, I decided to drink the Kool-Aid directly from the source and joined the Bobsled team back in May. And it's been great ever since. So I'm excited to get rolling with this one today.
We're excited to have you with us, and I'm excited to hear what you have to share about the topic of Q4 on Amazon as well. Stefan, how about you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Awesome. Yes, thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Stefan. I'm a PPC manager here at Bobsled Marketing. I've been working with Bobsled for a little over 2 years now, working with both seller and vendor accounts. And I'm excited to share some tips and tricks with you today as we've entered the most wonderful time of the year for everyone, especially Amazon sellers.
It definitely is a special time. Before we dig into the topic of today, I do want to go over a few housekeeping items. First, if you are having any technical or audio issues, please let us know if you can't hear us. You can let us know by posting your comment on the right side of your screen in the chat section. You can see a couple comments there right now. And also related to that section of your screen, this is an interactive webinar, and we really want it to be meaningful for all of you. So the way to help make it even more meaningful is to share your questions and comments in the chat section. So do please feel free to add any questions in the chat, and we'll do our best to answer them during the course of today's presentation. And any questions that we're unable to cover during the presentation today, we will follow up via email after today's recording. And finally, as I said, today's recording, we are recording this webinar, and we will be sharing it, and it will be available on demand after today. Today, I wanted to share a little bit of a breakdown of what we'll be covering today. As I mentioned, this is the third webinar in a 3-part series where we're tackling Q4. So there are a few loose ends and loose threads that we can talk about today that haven't been covered previously. To start, Jen is going to kick off today's presentation offering a how-to guide for effectively marketing your brand on Amazon during the holiday season. She's going to share her take on the value of a 360-degree approach to marketing that includes off-Amazon strategies as well. And Amazon really seems to be tweaking the rules of the game when it comes to advertising on what seems to be a weekly basis these days. Stefan is going to walk us through the latest in Amazon advertising and what it will mean for you in the months ahead. So let's get started. Jen, I'll hand this off to you now.
Thanks, Julie. So everybody, I should probably start by saying that marketing is my passion. And I've marketed everything from TV shows to new consumer products on just about every platform, and now including Amazon. And on the next slide, I wanted to really share a quote that I have lived by, and it's from one of my favorite marketing influencers, Seth Godin. And it really sets the tone for what I'm reviewing today. And that is, people do not buy goods and services. They buy the relations, stories, and magic. And even though we sell our products online, we can try to serve as many of the senses as possible. So by telling the brand story and really creating that magic through the tools Amazon offers us. And this is especially important during fourth quarter, where you have a unique opportunity to convey the experience of giving your product as a thoughtful gift and maybe how it will be received. So let's dive in and start with getting your brand into the holiday spirit. You really want to get your brand into that holiday vibe. Stores do it. People decorate their houses. They add red noses to the grills of their cars. And, the holidays are fun and your brand should absolutely join in. And it doesn't matter what you're selling. It's a valuable gift for the right person more times than you might think. So you really want to demonstrate your product as a gift and show your buyers how it'll be received. But how do you do this on Amazon, which is the question I always get. And that is really utilize your product display pages, your EBC pages, and your storefront. This is prime real estate that your future customers will use to make their buying decisions. So you want to make it as easy as possible to convey that your products are a great gift idea. And as you can see in this image, even shampoo can be exactly what somebody wanted. She's very excited. So by adding that visual appeal, you really do inspire the purchase with some of those stories and magic that Seth Godin is talking about. You want to update your titles, your bullets, and your descriptions to include holiday-inspired terms such as gifts, giving, presents, gifts they'll love, those types of keywords. And if possible, we always recommend creating holiday gift packages. So bundles or multi-packs. There's a reason behind all those displays in the department stores that are filled with prepackaged gift baskets and gift sets. We've all seen them with chocolates and makeup and all different types of products, because it's an attractive way to sell to the consumer by offering multiple items wrapped up as a gift. Because ultimately, we all want to give something that someone will like, and having an assortment is a sure bet that someone will appreciate it. And on another note, multi-packs of the same or similar items are super attractive, not only for the reasons that I was just mentioning, but if you're anything like me, and I'm not ashamed to admit it, I shop for myself during the holidays. So if I can get a multi-pack of a product that I want to try or something I already use, it's an added bonus to get some for myself. So it is a real thing. Don't judge too harshly.
You're not alone, Jen.
Right?
I'm not judging.
See, it's hard. So on the next slide, we'll take a closer look at the listing pages. In part 2 of this webinar series, Will and Rachel gave us some really great insight on the value of optimizing your product, your listings, your EBC pages, and how all of those elements tie into your sales success on Amazon. So from updating your images, titles, bullets, it's a perfect symphony of elements going on with your PPC and your keyword strategies. So how do you take all of that information a step further in Q4? The analogy I like to give clients is to look at it as set dressing, or your Amazon pages are like the windows at Macy's in New York during Christmas time. It's that nice blend of art and science to create that relationship with your buyer, especially during this holiday season. So this is a great example of a brand that has made some really nice changes to their images to give it that holiday feel. And it's just those small touches with familiar holiday items that really helps to bring in that seasonal spirit. So, they've added little things like twinkle lights and touches of gold and sprigs of fur and little dangling ornaments. And the images are absolutely high quality. And they also feature their gift set. So here's an example of a package that includes travel sizes of their best products, samples of new products. They've even got some detailed information on their brand, all wrapped up in a nice little velvet sachet. So they've made it really easy for anyone that's looking to send a gift to someone that they know when it arrives, it'll be a nice presentation. And that's a key element these days. We've learned that gifts are sent from Amazon and go directly under a tree 70% of the time. So the buyer never even handles it. So if you can go that extra mile to package it as a gift, you've solved another problem for your customer. So now let's take a look at your brand's listing page. As you can see, the same brand, they've added keywords of gift set to their title, and they've also peppered in some of the keywords listed here in their descriptions and EBC pages. So terms like gift set, gifts for her, mom, dad, best-selling gifts, popular, perfect gift. These are all great examples of what my buyers might search for. And that's important because we have a good idea as to how people search Amazon. I don't know about you, Julie, but to me, I use it like Google.
Oh, absolutely. It is my Google.
It's my shopping Google. So, for people who don't know what to get someone like me every year, I find myself doing searches like this when I'm shopping online. So you can look at it as today's equivalent of driving to the mall and walking from store to store, trying to find that perfect gift, which we've all done. And nowadays people pride themselves on how they did all of their Christmas shopping online, which is probably why we're all wearing fitness trackers to count our steps these days. So that's actually a really good idea for anyone watching this webinar, selling exercise monitors. That could be a great social media post. Like, is online shopping killing your daily step count goals? See, I like that. Right, Julie?
It's a good social experiment as well. I think you just showed that some research. I like it.
It really is. See, we're always thinking. Anyway, just, depending on your product too, your category or your niche market, there are likely more focused keywords that serve your market that you'll definitely want to include for the shopping season as well. So I think we've definitely covered product listing pages. We can go even further with our holiday makeover on EBC pages. EBC, or enhanced branded content pages, are a treasure when it comes to marketing your products. I encourage you to absolutely use it during Q4 and maximize the benefits of it. EBC pages give you a great opportunity to tell your brand story and create that relationship with your buyer that Seth was talking about in his quote. And we want to do that as much as we possibly can through a digital screen, because that's really all we have with Amazon. With EBC pages, you also want to use a nice mix of imagery and information. So the example here, they've hit all the marks. They're using this page to expand on the benefits of their products, and they've also added those same holiday touches. And then they're also featuring their multi-pack with an added tagline that ties into the promotion they're running. So here they've got a give one, keep one promotion, which speaks directly to me for sure. So it's just a great way to kind of give people an overview and again, kind of create that holiday spirit and feel good about giving this as a gift. They've also used the page. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I like how they've added a holiday touch even to their hero image for their brand store. That's really, they're hitting all the points here.
Yeah, just a little touch, a sprig of holly or whatever. Because when you're shopping, especially online, you want things to stand out and you want to convey holiday or gift giving. So, the other thing I wanted to mention too, that I love what they did here, is that they've put kind of detail in about the social influencer that they work with, who promotes their products. Though you've kind of tied the loop on that as well. And during the holidays, they're also giving a portion of their sales to a charity. So as a buyer, you really get a sense of the company, their values, and what goes into their products. So, and I also wanted to add that now we can add a short video to our EBC pages. So that's a huge benefit when marketing on Amazon. So I encourage everyone to definitely take advantage of that opportunity. And during the holidays, maybe think outside the normal selling and promotions box. Maybe just a simple holiday message from you or your employees, wishing people a happy holiday, or thank you for visiting your brand on Amazon. Just nice touches to kind of work on that relationship with your buyers when it's such a one-way communication. So, which actually leads me to the next slide, which is the storefront. This I love. It's a great example of a company that sells a construction kit to create projects out of cardboard. They've given their storefront a full holiday makeover. So you can see their normal storefront there on the left features their products and some examples of what kids can make with their construction kits. And this storefront converts really well already during the year and drives buyers to their product pages. But on the holiday version to the right, they've followed the same well-converting methodology as far as a mix of images and information. But now they've added that holiday flair and demonstrated that their product makes a great gift, not only by calling it out directly, but they've also offered examples of how their product can be used with a holiday twist, as opposed to their regular examples of projects kids can make during the year. So the changes they made convey that spirit and fun of the holidays, but they've also featured this Christmas tree creation and gingerbread people costumes. All of these elements demonstrate how their products can make a gift, but also kind of fun holiday projects for families during the season, or even in classrooms where kids can make projects. So storefronts are also a really great way to highlight your product assortment. So by adding navigational tabs to the top with titles such as gift ideas or bestsellers or even current promotions is a really, really great way to highlight what you're doing during Q4. So all of these have been examples of what you can do with your brand on Amazon. But what I really want to dive into now is what you should be doing off Amazon, and not only during Q4, but year round. And that is a 360-degree marketing approach. The majority of what we've discussed here is really only part of the marketing and branding strategy that represents what you can do on Amazon. And when you sell on Amazon, we have all the tools and methods that we all know help you get to the top within the world of Amazon. But there's another huge piece of the puzzle that is super valuable to achieving that 360-degree approach to marketing your brand. And that's the off-platform piece. So more and more, Amazon is embracing the fact that sellers on Amazon are also huge drivers of traffic to Amazon. And they're adding tools and reports that now allow you to measure that effectiveness of your off-platform efforts. So these days we know are unique in the fact that we have so many marketing outlets at our fingertips. Before digital and social media, we were limited to press releases and print ads and actually getting products on shelves in front of customers. But now we're in full control of developing our own audience and telling our brand story through numerous channels. So some of those that I want to look at, and first up would be your own website, which I highly encourage sellers to have, because it not only offers another outlet for sales, but it's also a great opportunity to market and tell your story without the limitations of Amazon. And it's also within your own imagination, in your own page design. You can take more advantage of video. You have unrestricted image use and keywords. So definitely add a website to your arsenal if you haven't already. Social media, as we know, is a key component to driving your brand name as well as sales, but really use it wisely, frequently, and above all else with relevance. There's a lot of noise out there, so you want to make sure that what you put out is always relevant to the audience that you're looking to reach. So consumers know when they're being sold to. So you really want to find that delicate balance between offering information that's valuable, but also maintaining a presence that you also have something to offer. And number one is make sure you plan your social media posts for consistency, but also leave room for newsworthy and current topics that might be a great fit for your brand. And also, I wanted to mention that email is not dead, especially when you're speaking to an audience that wants to hear from you, namely your current customers. So utilize that website data and your customer lists, as well as repeat buyer data on Amazon. You want to use that to your advantage. And the way you can do that is offer loyalty promotions, new product launches, or early releases to trusted customers, be the first to try kind of things. Because this audience is also 10 times more likely to share a coupon code with a friend or buy it as a gift, because it's a company that they've grown to trust and purchase from, and they like your products. So I love email for current and repeat customers. And then, of course, influencers. I can't say enough about the power of influencers, and it's getting more and more relevant on Amazon as well, because they come with that trusted audience that your brand can quickly be adopted by. So Amazon's making it easier for influencers to drive buyers to purchase products that they promote by giving them their own storefronts. So if you're a YouTuber, a blogger, an Insta influencer, you can set up your own shop on Amazon and send your audience directly to that storefront. And that's where your product would be featured. So they're basically driving them to where you're already selling. So it's a no-brainer. And I encourage everyone either in Q4 or 2019 and on to find the multiple influencers in your niche and capitalize on that built-in audience to expand and grow your market share. And there's a lot to be said out there. And the fact that Amazon is jumping into it kind of represents the power that influencers have these days. So, at this point, you might be asking yourself, how do I manage all of these moving parts? And it's, I'm not going to lie, it is a balancing act, but that old saying, a failure to plan is a plan to fail, is a absolute reality for Amazon sellers. And the best way that I've learned to ensure that you hit all the marks in your annual and your Q4 marketing efforts is a promotional calendar, which is something we share with our clients because it presents opportunities and avoids costly things that you might miss during the year. So, we've all faced that regret of a holiday or an event rolling around only to miss it or scramble with something less than we would have liked to put out there. So for sellers, this can be missing important opportunities to boost your sales, like knowing how to make a promo calendar is a key part of efficiently planning out what holidays you want to plan, that you want to plan promos for, sales for. You also want to buckle that up with creating solid social content and knowing how to budget for everything that you have in your calendar, from advertising to inventory. So some of the things you should have in your calendar are obviously your own promotions on Amazon or your own website, new product releases, any seasonality things that your products can take advantage of. Of course, your social media ads and posts, and then influencer drop dates. So that's, when they'll be promoting your products, you want to make sure you have plenty of inventory, that you've allowed for kind of doubling up on what the influencer is talking about out there with your own social media. And then, of course, holidays and events. And, they can be major, minor, and super niche events that speak to your product. So, for example, if you're selling men's grooming products, there's No Shave November. So I don't know if you've heard about it, Julie, but men don't shave to help raise awareness for cancer patients.
I have.
It's just it's something that's growing and growing, and I'm seeing more people post about it. Then it's a great thing to be aligned with. Also, if you sell food related items, January 23rd, if you didn't know, is National Pie Day. So, there's all kinds of fun things that are going on that you can market around. So you want to generate those sales just by participating in these events that are so easy. But the thing is I don't know about you, but a lot of times when I was doing some marketing, there'd be something that I didn't know and I'd see somebody else marketing it. And it was like, oh, that would have been a great opportunity, but you just didn't take the time to plan for it. So we've talked about a lot of elements today when it comes to marketing your products as well as your brand on Amazon. And it all circles back to that quote by Seth. So as you plan your Q4 and your 2019 strategies, keep that quote top of mind and make sure that you're building that relationship with your audience by offering those stories and the magic that they can relate to, because we're just communicating through a digital screen, and we definitely have ways to be able to do that. So thanks everyone for your time and energy, and I'll send it back to Julie.
Well, Jen, I really like the focus on the 360-degree approach and the idea of the promotions calendar as well, to make sure that you're hitting the marks, planning ahead. As a very somewhat type A organized person that also loves color coding, your promotion calendar really speaks to me. How do you see yourself as a client project manager here at Bobsled playing a role in this in support of the clients that you manage? Because like you said, this is a lot for our clients to consider in terms of management. Where does the client project manager play a role to kind of shoulder some of this for the clients that are here at Bobsled?
Well, I like to do kind of an initial pass when I take a look at whatever client I'm dealing with and whatever niche market they're in. So I kind of do a high level version of this that can give us some talking points and help them start to flush out what would work for them. And then 9 times out of 10, they've got things that I didn't hear about or things that I researched because I'm not in their niche. So it really gives it, by going through this and saying, here are the key things during the year. Here are some smaller things that I've picked up on. and it really kind of gets the gears going and the process flowing, and they actually get excited about it because now they're not always playing catch up. They can actually look ahead and be like, oh, next month is, No Shave November, so let's do a promo for that, and let's make sure we have the inventory in there, because so many times we all know that something passes us by and we wished we had taken advantage of it. So that's, to me, it's just getting the ball rolling, and then working with them throughout the year to make sure that they are hitting those marks and making sure that they are checking and making sure that they, realize that that's coming up.
A real team effort.
Absolutely.
Great. Well, thank you, Jen. I'm going to hand this off to Stefan now, our PPC guru, who's going to make sense of advertising on Amazon and the continual changes that Amazon keeps lobbing our way as we head into Q4. So, Stefan, the mic is yours.
Thank you, Julie. Moving on to the advertising updates. For this webinar, I focused only on tips that are unique to Q4 2018. As you all know, Amazon changes its interface, its features, ad placements very often this year. So I'll be covering these changes today to make sure we're ready to convert Q4's increased traffic as effectively as possible. Plus, I know we've heard the increased bids and increased budget suggestions probably a million times by now. So to dive in, I'm starting off with the email we received from Amazon, the rebranding that Amazon did. And I'm starting with this because I feel like everything else that has changed is either part of this rebranding or a change that has happened because of it. Basically, Amazon has told us that there will be known as Amazon advertising only, and it's leveling out the playing field for sellers and vendors, and is leaving the door open to introduce some features from the previously known AAP, which is now Amazon demand side platform. And in my opinion, this is the biggest reason for the rebranding. So let's dig into some of the changes that have happened before or immediately after this. We can go to the next slide. This is not really brand new, but have you noticed the other placements that headline search ads, or I should probably say sponsored brands, now have? In addition to the top of search placements, they are now available to show either on the left-hand side of the page or at the bottom of the page. So yes, the first slide we had covered top of search. We've made some screenshots. I think these are screenshots that Amazon has shared on their YouTube when they announced the change. And basically, the top of search is well known to us. In addition to it, it's the left-hand side and the bottom page placements. One very important thing to share: all of your sponsored brand campaigns that have been launched previously have these placements available automatically and are showing in these placements by default. Basically, Amazon has done a great job trying to hide the feature which gives us control over the placements. And all of the campaigns which are now running are showing up in all three of these placements and have the automated bidding feature enabled already. The slide includes a screenshot of a campaign which has the automated bidding feature enabled, and it's from a campaign that we have launched a while ago, just as an illustration that all of the campaigns, all of the sponsored brand campaigns, it would be worth it to give them a double check and see if this feature is enabled.
Yeah, I think this is a really important thing that you're hitting on here, Stefan, because when we were first talking about it and you mentioned auto bidding, I attributed that to automatic bids. I didn't take into account that it also includes Amazon determining the placement of those ads for headline search ads or sponsored brand ads. Old habits are hard to break there. So I think it's really important that you're hitting on auto bidding not only encompasses the bid, but placement of the ads themselves.
Absolutely. That's totally true, Julie. It's very unintuitive, I would say. But
Mhm.
yeah, the automated bidding actually controls the placements of the left-hand side and the bottom of the search. And what's very interesting is if we go to the next slide, we will see that it is only when one disables the automated bidding feature that one will see the hidden other placements dialog window, which allows us to set a custom bid for the other placements. Uh, Please note this, you can't really set different bids for left hand side or bottom of search. Currently, Amazon seems to be aggregating those. But if we, let's say, decrease the bid for other placements by 99%, we've done pretty much all we can to ensure that our advertisements will be showing on top of search only. And there's a reason I'm saying this is ever since the change has happened, we kind of had a feeling that top of search was the main reason that headline search were so effective. It's above the fold, it grabs your attention immediately. So we ran a bit of a test here at Bobsled to see how other placements perform compared to the top of search. So this slide presents the results graph. I'm not sure if I've illustrated this clearly enough, but we discovered that even though other placements are not stealing so much spend from top of search currently, they operate with almost twice the ACoS that top of search has. These are the results from a client we have here at Bobsled, and we found out that top of search would perform with ACoS ranging around 10%, and the other placements would have an ACoS that nears 20%, so almost double.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, I think you've captured it well. Top of search is the way to go.
definitely there. And yes, in addition to this new product placements, there are several new sponsor brands reports available. The campaign placement report, and the keyword placement report. Unfortunately, the search term report is not available for the sponsor brands campaigns yet. The placement reports show us the placement either on campaign or keyword level. They're pretty basic. The left-hand side and the bottom placements are aggregated. So when you would download a report, you would be able to see if your ads are showing on top of search or other placements. These other placements include the other two. You can really see the impression share you have on the left-hand side or the bottom of the page. But still, if you're running sponsor brands and you have these enabled, we recommend that you would download these reports once a week and see the placements and how well they perform. For our clients here at Bobsled, your PPC manager will check your newly available reports weekly and will monitor their performance by placement and adjust accordingly. We're very wary about how these perform, especially after the experiments we had. Moving on to the next slide, this is just a reminder for everyone. Not really a change that has happened, but I think it's important enough for us to address. With Q4 and everybody bidding aggressively, monitoring your ACoS will be imperative. There are several periods of Q4 where you really want to be careful. I think the week leading up to Black Friday is the most important one. This is where people would research, they would be looking for products they want to buy, but will not be continuing with the purchase in anticipation of a discount or a deal happening on Black Friday. Basically, Q4 does result in increase in ACOS often because of several reasons. There's more competition. Everybody is bidding higher. Everyone's campaigns are running throughout the whole day, so you don't really get that time of day where your ads are just playing because everybody else's are out of budget. And being just monitoring your ACOS closely and adjusting immediately could make quite the difference in Q4.
Yeah, I think the point that you're raising here too is shopper behavior changes. And personally, I know I'm one of those researchers where I'm clicking on things and adding to cart. And knowing what I know now about PPC on Amazon, I try to be careful not to click on people's ads and drive up their ACOS intentionally. But I think, yeah, I try to honor that. But I do think being cognizant of the shift in shopper behavior at this time and how it impacts ACOS is a really important thing for everyone to keep in mind, that Q4 is a tricky time if your advertising goals are to drive down ACOS. It's an extra challenge if that is a goal that you have going into Q4. It's worth considering all the points that Stefan just raised here.
And I have to say, this was a slide we added after the initial version of the presentation for this webinar was done. There's a new campaign type available. We only see it for selected Seller Central accounts currently. And even though it seems like they've just added the product display ads to Seller Central, these are not product display ads. Actually, we have some campaigns created. They had these available in AAP, I mean, Amazon's demand side platform now. And these are basically ads which would retarget people who have shown up to your product listing outside of Amazon. Amazon owns a lot of websites. It has a lot of ad placements across the web. So if you want to retarget people who ended up on your product page but didn't make a purchase, you can use the display ads if they've become available in your account. Exactly. And
always changing the game.
We spoke briefly about the rebranding, leaving the door open for Amazon demand side platform features to come to Seller Central and AMS. And I think this is definitely going in that direction.
I would agree.
And to wrap up the advertising section of the webinar, we wanted to share an Excel template we have created here at Bobsled and we use internally. We know how important it is to optimize your account performance on campaign level week by week. And it can come in handy, especially if you're a big account who has tens, hundreds of campaigns running simultaneously. Basically, what this template does is it looks for the campaign performance for last week and compares it to the performance that campaign had the week before. Ultimately, if you're analyzing last week and comparing it to the week before for all of your running campaigns, you can end up with a winners or losers list either by spend, sales, clicks, or impressions. We actually use it to identify top 10 winners, top 10 losers. These are the campaigns that had a drop of sales. These are the campaigns that had increased sales last week compared to the week before. And this is what we use to identify opportunities or issues in the account. And it really helps us prioritize where to focus when managing the account. I have the shareable link with me, and I've just included it in the comments section here. At least I think I have.
There it is.
Awesome. If you have any challenges downloading it or accessing it, please feel free to contact either me, Jen, or Julie, and we will get that sent over to you.
great. I love anytime we can pull apart data and look at it from so many different angles. This is a great value add. Thank you, Stefan.
You're welcome.
And following Jen's recommendation, I should have put in the title to this webinar that it includes a free gift. Not only the gift of information, but the gift of an Excel sheet. All right. Well, thank you, Stefan and Jen, for the information you shared today. It was, like I said, this was the webinar that really pulled together the loose ends of ways that sellers can really prepare themselves for a successful Q4. And I really appreciate the insights you shared today. And as Stefan mentioned about accessing the Excel sheet that he shared, as with that or any other questions or thoughts or recommendations you have for future webinars even, please feel free to reach out to me directly at my email. It's included here in the last slide. And we look forward to having you join us for future webinars. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks.